Hi, and welcome back to Jopr. Today's case is new, 2026 Chery Exeed Lunar launch event, and what is truly behind it. We're not just looking at a new car, we're going to deconstruct a brilliant marketing pitch, one that's trying to completely flip the script on what we think of as luxury. And this is the headline, the big, bold claim right at the center of their launch event. I mean, come on. A $70,000 experience for less than half the price. That is designed to make you stop and ask one thing, right? How do you even begin to make a promise like that and not just be a total marketing bluff? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. We're going to tear down their entire argument bit by bit and see how they try to justify it. Okay, before we start, let me tell you some specs of the car. For the CDM plug-in hybrid models, an 180 ultra-long-range version is mentioned, which typically refers to an electric range of 180 kilometers. No specific fuel range or total range information for the gasoline versions is provided in the sources. The vehicle length exceeds 5 meters. Second row legroom is 901 millimeter. Third row legroom is 793 millimeter, which is stated to be the largest in its class. Available in both 6-seat and 7-seat configurations. Equipped with 400-ton Kunpeng power, generates 261 horsepower, provides 400 Newton-meters of torque, paired with an Aisin 8-speed automatic transmission. Features a Feiyu chassis with CDC electromagnetic suspension. The system collects road data 1,000 times per second, and damping response reaches millimeter-level precision. Enhances comfort by 5% and reduces body roll during turns or lane changes. Described as a million-level luxury car chassis. Boasts an idling noise level of 37 decibels, dB, making it the quietest in its class. The vehicle's body has a high-strength steel ratio of 85%. B-pillar tensile strength is up to 1,500 megapascal. Features 31% double-sided galvanized steel plates. Achieved 5-star safety certification as the top-ranked mid to large SUV in crash tests. The side curtain airbags are over 2.6 meters long, making them the longest in their class and fully covering the third row for enhanced safety. Achieves L2 intelligent assisted driving capabilities. Includes features such as high-speed leading, lane change assistance, adaptive cruise control, and speed limit recognition. These functions cover 90% of daily driving scenarios, including highways, urban elevated roads, and expressways. The system uses a fusion of vision and multiple sensors to provide assisted driving from toll gate to toll gate, making long-distance driving easier. Offers comprehensive parking functions, including automatic parking, memory parking, custom parking, and reverse tracking. These features allow for one-button operation, making it easy to park the 5-meter large vehicle even in tight urban spaces or older residential areas. Provides 7 scenario-based driving modes: economic, standard, sport, snow, mud, sand, and off-road, which can be switched with one button to adapt to various road conditions globally. Okay, now dig in. What is truly behind the less is more title? So, their whole strategy kicks off by basically ignoring the old rules of luxury. You know, they're not talking about 100 years of heritage or some fancy family name. Nope, they go straight for what you can actually see, what you can feel, what you can hear, starting with the interior. And look at this, they come out swinging. Right away, they put their car next to the undisputed king, the Mercedes S-Class. And they don't just say, "Oh, our interior is nice." They hit you with a number, 91% soft touch material, the same as the S-Class. So, the message isn't just that it's good, it's that it's quantifiably as good as a car that costs, what, 4 or 5 times more? That's a power move. Then they get specific. They talk about this Art Touch cloud leather. And this is a classic move, right? You introduce a new material, something from, say, high-end furniture, and you frame it as the new premium. It's lighter, it's softer than the old stuff, so all of a sudden, it's not about old world leather. It's about new world tech, Innovation is the new luxury. So, they're building this idea of a luxury living room on wheels. And how do you do that? Well, with space. A ton of it. This thing is huge, over 5 meters long, which means you get incredible legroom in the second and even the third row. They're telling you this isn't just a car to get from A to B. It's a genuinely usable space. A rolling living room for your family or for work. Okay, and what's a living room without peace and quiet? This is another huge part of traditional luxury, right? Silence. And they show they're totally obsessed with it. It's not just one thing. It's a whole system. You've got double-layer glass. You've got active noise cancellation. 30 kilos of sound-absorbing material. 30. To put that in perspective, that's like wrapping the whole car in a bunch of heavy blankets. It's a serious commitment. So, once you've made the cabin whisper quiet, you gotta fill that silence with something amazing. And boom, here comes the sound system. Yeah, they list the specs. 23 speakers, 1,080 watts, the whole shebang. But here's the knockout punch. They claim that in blind tests, people thought it was as good as the super famous, super expensive Bremester systems you find at top-tier German cars. That's a direct shot. And this logic, it just keeps going. Let's look at the outside. Even something as simple as a taillight gets this treatment. They don't just say, hey, look at our cool taillight. They call it a super red taillight and explain that the specific wavelength of light it uses can cut through fog and rain 30% better. So, what looks like a design choice is actually reframed as a crucial piece of safety tech. Okay, so at this point, they've laid out their case for luxury. They've given you all these reasons to believe it feels premium, and now they pivot. Hard, they shift from comfort and gadgets to something way more primal and emotional. Safety. This is where they stop selling you a car and start building real trust. And how do they start? With a big, simple number. 85%. That's how much of the car's body is made from high-strength steel. It's a solid, factual foundation for everything they're about to show you. And then, they show you what that steel can do. And wow, they don't hold back. You see these crazy lab tests, like a high-speed collision where it gets a perfect score for protecting the people inside. They literally roll one off a 25-meter cliff. That's like an 8-story building. And at the bottom, the main structure is fine. The door's still open. You can't argue with a visual like that. But if you think the lab tests are impressive, this next part is just wow. They go from lab data to real life. They bring an actual owner up on stage. This guy's car got absolutely flattened by a 20-ton truck, and he just walked away. And what's the first thing he did? He went and bought another one. I mean, that's a story you just can't make up. It's unbelievably powerful social proof. So, how do you make something like an airbag, a safety spec, actually feel meaningful? Well, you do this. You take the number, 2.6 meters, the length of the side curtain airbag, and you give people something to compare it to. It's longer than a king-size bed. Suddenly, you can picture it. You understand, it's protecting everyone, all the way to the back row. It makes the safety feature tangible. All right, let's just recap for a second. They've spent all this time building their case, right? They've hammered home the luxury angle. They've hammered home the fortress on wheels safety angle. They've given you every single reason to believe. So, there's only one thing left. The final act. The price reveal. But hold on. Before they drop the number, they do something really, really clever. They hit you with a rapid-fire summary of everything we just saw. The interior, the safety, the sound system, the space. It's not just a reminder. They're making you hold all that value in your head, stacking it all up, right before they tell you the cost. And you can feel it, right? It creates this perfect moment of suspense. They've stacked the deck so high with all these premium features, and you're just sitting there, doing the math in your head, thinking, okay, what's this gonna cost? How much for all of that? And then they show it, just under $26,400. Now, for a car this big, with all those features we just talked about, that price alone is already a huge deal. It's aggressive, but they're not done yet, because right after that, they throw in the sweeteners. They start talking about direct subsidies, a purchase tax waiver, a bonus if you trade in your old car. And just like that, another big chunk of the price just vanishes. Which brings us to the final number, the knockout blow, just under $22,200. And that's the number this whole presentation was designed to lead to. It's the final piece of the puzzle that makes that crazy claim from the beginning, $70,000 luxury for less than half the price, suddenly seem not just possible, but completely logical. Irresistible, even. So, when you step back, what this whole thing shows us is a really interesting potential shift happening in the car world. Technology is making all these features that used to be super exclusive, well, not so exclusive anymore. It really makes you wonder, what is luxury gonna mean tomorrow? Is it still about the fancy badge on the front of the car? Or is it becoming more about the real, tangible stuff you get for your money? I'd love to know what you think. That's it for today's review. If you enjoyed deep dive into the 2026 Chery Exeed Lunar, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and let me know in the comments. Would you buy this? Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one. Peace.